Meet the Razer Viper 8K Hertz, a mouse that's supposedly supposed to be 8 times faster than your regular mouse, but it's not what you think it is, so stick around to find out what it actually is. This mouse is $80 and you're getting the standard Viper shape. It also is 71 grams and hosts the 8K Hertz pulling rate. Now let's actually talk about all those things. So you're pretty much getting the same shape and materials as the Razer Viper Ultimate, same rubber grips, same size, and same plastic, which is really nice here. And of course, obviously it's not wireless like the Razer Viper Ultimate. But yeah, I didn't use a full-size Viper shape in a long time before I got this mouse, and I really forgot how much I love the shape. I feel like you can pretty much do all 3 major grips here, and it sits comfortably in my hand. It kind of reminds me of like a tiny bit smaller Model O. Now let's talk about the clicks. So the switches used here are Razer 2nd Gen opticals. I can definitely tell you these feel really tactile, not the most tactile, but up there. And they have very low post or pre-travel, so overall just low actuation distance. And the bottom mount isn't mushy either. If there's one complaint about the buttons I'm gonna have is that the scroll wheel feels pretty stiff. The side buttons I had no issues with. Now before I get into why I think this mouse is a scam, let's talk about the feet and the gliding. The feet are 100% PTFE feet, and they're not bad by any means. You can definitely get away with them here, but I felt better to be honest with you. If you're the type to buy core pads, that would not be a bad idea, but it's not needed. For the weight, it's 71 grams and I really appreciate it. I'm used to lightweight mice and I had pretty much no adjustment time here to get used to the weight. Okay, now let's talk about why I think it's a scam and how it actually does in game. So I think it's a scam because the number one feature they try to get you to buy this mouse for, which is the 8K Hertz pulling rate, doesn't work 100% of the time. As you can see, I'm playing Minecraft on Lunar Client right here, and there's lags and skips, and that's with the 8K Hertz pulling rate. When I turn it off, it goes back to smooth. Now games like Call of Duty don't seem to have this issue, but I've heard games even as popular as Apex Legends having this issue. Now one reason I heard this issue exists is because the actual server or engine the game runs on isn't powerful enough to receive this reception. The reception of 8000 Hertz pulling rate, that is. So if you find yourself playing games like Minecraft with this mouse, just stick to 1000 Hertz at most in my opinion. But to be honest, for its price point, I wouldn't even recommend you buy this mouse just for Minecraft, mainly because it isn't for high CPS, and something very similar like the Razer Viper Mini already exists for less than half the price. So I would stick to games where you don't need high CPS and it can actually handle the pulling rate, like shooters like Call of Duty for example. And before I talk about my final thoughts, I have to debunk whether or not 8K Hertz actually makes you a better player. So yes, 8K Hertz is technically 8 times faster than 1000 Hertz, but our eyes and monitors just simply cannot see that difference. If you do end up seeing the difference, it is minuscule. So yeah, overall I do think this mouse is a scam because the number one thing they advertise isn't actually good 100% of the time, but that doesn't mean I don't think this mouse is still good. Whenever you get past the 8K Hertz pulling rate and set it on 1000 and actually play all your games, I really had a fun experience with this mouse. I loved the shape, I was satisfied with the glide, and enjoyed the clicks, but I just cannot recommend this mouse. It's $80, which is slightly less than the Viper Ultimate, and it's $50 more than the Viper Mini, which is still a very similar mouse to this. So the price point and the false advertising just really ruins this mouse for me.